The strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon, loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my body. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go will the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright guys, holy shit. Talk about getting your feelings hurt and going nuclear on someone, eh? Woo! Hey Vox, how's those feels that you got? Someone called you some bad names and holy shit, you lost your shit. Oh boy. Maybe that t-shirt was a little bit more accurate than you like to think, hey? Oh boy. Vox News, hey? Yes, I'm surprised we're still up too, don't worry. Guys, I'm going to start this video by saying, if you do one thing today, please go to our Nonpartisan Media website. It's nonpartisanmedia.com. Type in your email address. You get an email once a day that lets you know what the videos are, and if the video channel goes down, then we will let you know exactly what is happening with this channel after that point. But at the moment, we are still up and running. At the moment, we still have super chats. Here's the thing. We got hit by this mass demonetization thing about 12 months ago. 6 to 12 months ago. And we were warning people then it was coming. Okay, yes, I do think that Vox has speeded it up. I do think at the end of the day that they have forced YouTube. Are you not? Yeah, I'm in Australia, yeah. I think Fox News has sped it up and forced YouTube to play their hand. I think this was going to happen regardless. I think this is going to happen regardless of what Steven Crowder has done. But don't worry, we're going to break it all down, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to let you know exactly whose Fifi's got hurt, and how they acted like a great big giant baby. Because that's what you are. Okay, Mr. Vox Man, I'm not even going to use your name because you're just a baby. You're a crybaby. Okay? Someone hurt your feelings, someone challenged your narrative, someone debunked your videos, and you lost your shit. Well, congratulations. By the way, that photo of him right there, we could always make that a Make America Great Again hat, can't we? Can we Photoshop that? Let's just troll the shit out. No, obviously I'm not encouraging anybody to attack this guy because obviously that will give him fuel to the fire. So please don't go out and attack him. But that said, there's nothing about you going out, having a look at his videos and debating the principles of his videos. And in fact, we're going to be doing that this weekend. We're going to be doing a special broadcast. Yes, guys, I have a big announcement this weekend. We're going to be sitting through some of the worst of Vox's videos, and we're going to be pushing back on the narrative. Congratulations, Fox. This is what you wanted, right? This is what you wanted. You wanted us to sit here and give you attention. Well, congratulations. Probably going to be doing it Sunday night, Monday morning, Australian time. We're going to be sitting there and actually debating your topics. But we've ignored you for the most part, but congratulations. You're going to get as much attention as you possibly want. We're going to debate your video topics. So, yeah. F you, I suppose. But anyway. Hey, Red Panda. Hey, Janet. How are you? I got rid of my YouTube premium account. Yeah, okay. So we're going to talk about all that sort of stuff, guys. Look, there is a lot of other news happening today. Obviously, it's not all going to be about the YouTube thing, but yeah, this is obviously going to be the big story of the day. So we should probably start recording and jump into it. But yeah. So guys, for everybody that has just jumped in and who has just joined us, Streamlabs seems to be down. This is interesting. Let me see. I don't have chat coming up on this side. Nonpartisan media. Nonpartisan media. I also have an update on my internet soon. It's not good news. Apparently I'm going to die of old age before the internet is connected. But anyway. Go to dashboard. Okay. So, hopefully that will fix it. But we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Alright. So, probably should stop and let's start the recording. Okay, so guys, basically what's happening, in case you have not heard, the end is near. It's the end of YouTube. Vox went nuclear because someone got his feet hurt. Yes, that's right, you probably heard. Steven Crowder went through and has actually... so Steven Crowder and Vox have had trading blows for quite a while. And it's mostly just Steven Crowder going through and basically debunking his argument. And Steven Crowder does a fairly somewhat good job of doing this normally. So I'm going to presume that he did a pretty good job on this. I haven't seen these Vox articles because I don't always watch Steven Crowder. But at the end of the day, I presume he's gone through and done a good job. And there's a couple of times where Steven Crowder has had a t-shirt that said socialism is for figs. It actually says F and then it has a fig and then GS. Obviously it's a play on the word. Obviously it's there to be, you know, controversial, spicy, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a problem with anything that Steven Crowder has actually said, to be honest. I think Steven Crowder is just... It's Steven Crowder, okay? He's a late night talk show host. If you're going to go complaining about some of the stuff that he's said in the past, you sort of have to go through and also complain about other YouTube or other late night show hosts as well. Like, for example, Late Night with Stephen Colbert, or David Letterman, or any of these late night show hosts that have gone through. Now, obviously, when you go to Steven Crowder's YouTube channel, it is clearly marked as comedy. When you go into the actual, I think when you go into the about, I think it comes up here as comedy. Late night comedy show, right? So it's clearly marked as comedy. But regardless, what's basically happened is Vox has gone through and YouTube, Steven Crowder and Vox. So Vox has put out these really bad videos that have been really easy to debunk. Apparently, Steven Crowder said they were fairly easy to do. And what is basically happened is that they've lost it. They've lost this guy that works for Vox. Has had his arguments constantly attacked. You know, he doesn't like the fact that socialism was for figs as a t-shirt. He doesn't like the fact that Steven Crowder has called him, I believe he called him a couple of, let me actually just play the video for you. Because Steven actually does a really good job of summing it up. So let's hear exactly what he has to say.
Giant company trying to lean on this channel. It's pretty much exactly what you would expect. Yeah. The host of Vox has actively, it's been brought to my attention, been on a campaign to get this channel banned, removed from YouTube, from encouraging viewers in massive flagging campaigns to directly communicating with YouTube in order to try and get me in these videos completely removed from the platform. A couple of the tweets, by refusing to enforce its anti-harassment policy, YouTube is helping incredibly powerful cyberbullies go to this dude's videos and flag them, question mark. So not a lot of conviction there. Seems like a question tossed to the audience. No. Let me explain the more sinister context at play here. First, I've been accused of playing a part, or this person, Carlos Maza, having been doxxed. I have always condemned and continue to condemn, discourage any and all forms of doxing or targeted harassment of anyone online, okay? I've been consistent, so please don't do that here. I know some of you will get, obviously, mad, maybe a little enraged at some of the information you're about to hear, but please don't do that. Be above that.
I just want to second that, guys. At the end of the day, please don't go doxing this guy. Please don't go giving him any more ammunition to get any more YouTube channels or anything like that taken down. Look, at the end of the day, like I said, if you want to do something, jump in a live stream with me on Sunday, and we'll tear apart his arguments. But yeah, at the end of the day, attack the arguments, not the person.
If there's any proof that I've actively encouraged people to dox this person or anyone, I will profusely apologize. Any proof. Here's the thing. Of the tens of millions of cumulative plays on our rebuttals to Vox on this channel, every single one of them is about criticizing their ideas or incorrect assumptions. Every instance has been about fighting bad information with better information. Now, Carlos Maza is upset. Okay, listen, have I ever called you, Carlos, the gay Latino host at Fox? Yes, of course. But that's friendly ribbing. And, I genuinely wouldn't consider you being that upset about it, considering your handle is @gaywonk.
Yeah. I just want to talk about that too. Like, at the end of the day, if you literally have a Twitter handle of @gaywonk, you can't get mad when people call you gay Latino. It's like, oh, really? It's like that's the thing that bugs you is, and that's what it's all about, right? He's going after Crowder. Look, let's not BS about this, okay? His problem with Crowder isn't the fact that he's called him @gaywonk. His problem with Crowder is nothing to do with the shirts. His problem, this Carlos Maz's, whatever his name is, his problem with Crowder is the fact that Crowder is debunking his videos. That's what it's all about. You have a look here, right? 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 1 day ago. I don't find it very suspicious at all that literally the day before this whole shitstorm happened, I thought it was gay wank. Jesus. That's actually quite funny. But I was going to say, I don't find it extremely funny or coincidental that this whole shitstorm happened the day after he's gone through and debunked the Vox article. It's 622,000 views. Right? It's not even the best performing video yet. Mind you, the others have been up for quite a while, which is fair enough, right? But at the end of the day, it's had 622,000 views in a day. And literally the day after that, guess what? Vox declares war on Steven Crowder. Makes you wonder what Steven Crowder said in this article that was enough to piss off this guy. Because I tell you what, Steven Crowder must have done a really good job of debating the article, or debating the video in this instance. Because that's what I reckon it is. I reckon it's all about the fact that Steven Crowder is single-handedly able to debunk this Vox guy's articles or these guys' videos. He can't handle it because, oh my God, people are knowing that I'm wrong. Oh my God, people are poking holes in my argument. Oh my God, I've got to silence people who have a different opinion than me because they're making me look like an idiot. Well, guess what? You have single-handedly, most likely, became the most hated person on the internet right now. And that is really saying something. If there is a most hated person on the internet award right now, you would be in the running for it. Congratulations on how not to make friends. But why is everybody targeting me? Because you're an idiot. But anyway.
With better information. Now, Carlos Maza is upset. Okay, listen, have I ever called you, Carlos, the gay Latino host at Fox? Yes, of course. But that's friendly ribbing. And, I genuinely wouldn't consider you being that upset about it, considering your handle is @gaywonk.
Yeah.
Did I ever offhandedly use the term lispy queer? I really don't remember it, but it sounds like me. Why? Because you speak with the lisp and you refer to yourself as a queer. That, along with the LGBTQ moniker, has genuinely made me think that queer is one of the more suitable terms. If not, I don't understand the rule book. Please correct me. Also, by the way, it's funny. And this is a comedy show. Lispy queer is harmless, and I enjoy saying it. And you're not alone. Quarter black Garrett, half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond. I won't apologize for it, just like I won't apologize for the socialisms for fig shirts, which they now want to have actively removed, available at loudclattershop.com. If using your words taken directly from the acronym you regularly tout is now hate speech, no one can understand the rules. And that's kind of the point, isn't it?
It's not just that too. I also want to expand on that too. If you're going to go after late night hosts, TV, comedians, whatever you want to call Crowder, if you want to go over there after them for what they've done, for the things that they've possibly said, okay, what about all the times that the late night show hosts have attacked Trump or attacked conservatives? What about, for example, I'm forgetting their name because I don't watch them, but the late night hosts, right, that constantly mock Trump. Or the ones that have gone after Carlos will be for now. He will be, yes. He is not losing that name anywhere. But what I was going to say was, but like, for example, the times that they've attacked Stephen Bannon or any of the Trump administration and called them all the worst names under the sun. What? It's okay to call names under the sun on one side of the argument, but when someone on the other side, a more conservative approach, wants to call you a certain name like lispy queer, you crack the shits and throw a tantrum? And that's what this is. This is basically Vox tossing the freaking hat in the air and saying, I'm taking my bat and ball and I'm going to go home. But instead of taking your bat and ball home, he's taking the ad revenue with him. Like, it's absolutely insane that someone would lose their shit so much over this. I'm going to do a poll later. Who's the most hated person on the internet right now? I'm guessing the results are going to be pretty obvious. But at the end of the day, maybe Steve, let me know in chat, who do you want as options? Obviously, Carlos Maza is going to be one of them. Stephen Wojcicki is going to be another. I'm going to put Facebook's on there. I'm going to put Mark Zuckerberg. I might also do Jack, Jack, who does Twitter. Jack, I forget his last name. I might put him on there as well. Let me know if you have any other options in chat, guys, throughout the course of the show. If who you want me to list as the most hated people on the internet right now. And we'll do a quiz and we'll see how the poll results go for that. But I'm guessing I'm going to know who the option is. I know who the winner's going to be. But anyway. But at the end of the day, you're going to go after Stephen Crowder. You've got to go after all the rest of them. What about all the times that Stephen Colbert and all these sort of guys have gone through and said something regarding Trump or anybody or mocked anybody? What about the people like, for example, Jonathan Pye? How many times has Jonathan Pye over in the UK, who is a comedian, by the way, how many times has Jonathan Pye gone after someone and attacked them? He has done absolutely exact same thing as Stephen Crowder in this situation. Are you going to go through and start taking his channel down now? Is Jonathan Pye going to lose monetization because of the fact at the end of the day you don't like him attacking people? Taking bats and balls, Carlos Maza, in the same sense. Yeah, true. Good point. Let's keep going with this and we'll keep going.
Make no mistake, this isn't about me versus some guy at Vox, okay? This is an example of a giant corporate media entity trying to silence voices that they don't like. They've received over $200 million total from NBC Universal Comcast. It's tough to find the numbers, but at least $200 million. By contrast, this channel is funded by mugs. Okay? It's funded by you joining Mug Club. And we literally had to create Mug Club to sustain ourselves precisely to fight these kinds of mass flagging campaigns and the subsequent demonetization. So here's the scary part. Now YouTube has responded to the gay Latino host of Vox.
Okay, so this video is a couple of days old, right? So I don't want to go on too much further because it's been updated since then. So, to give you an idea of this Carlos guy, the character of the guy that has literally gone through and is attacking people, or attacking ad revenue, or attacking YouTube because of wrong thing, because of the fact that he doesn't like people calling him bad names. It's those bad names that they just keep calling me. That's just not fair, right? Well, this is the same guy that has literally quoted, and this is his tweet, milkshake them all, humiliate them at every turn, make them dread public organizing. This is the guy who's got upset over Steven Crowder calling him a lesbian queer, having a t-shirt, socialism is for figs, literally advocating for political violence. Yeah, I know, John Pye is a character here. His real name's Tom Walker. Yeah, I know. He created the character because he couldn't get a job as an anchorman or something, he was saying. I don't always agree with his political point of view, but he is quite good at being the comedy. Yeah, I know he's a character. I just said John Pye because that's his name of his YouTube channel. But like I say, at the end of the day, this is the same guy that's advocating for political violence who is complaining because someone said some bad names about me on YouTube. It's not fair. But, you know. And obviously the mainstream media is doing their best to cover for Vox, you know. YouTube to delete thousands of accounts after it bans supremacist conspiracy theorists and other harmful users. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Who are the harmful users that YouTube has gone after? Who are the conspiracy theorists that YouTube have gone after? Obviously, YouTube is finally banning German World War II, can't say that, or event deniers and event deniers. Yeah, apparently. I can't say those words because then I would be likely hit by the algorithm myself. But YouTube will announce it will ban certain denier videos and other content that tries to deny other proven events. So that's the dangerous thing of right now. Okay. Carrington situation, right? These boys that were from that high school. That was supposedly a proven event. That was the mainstream media going through and saying, look at here, we have video evidence of this boy smirking. And that was a proven event. In the eyes of YouTube, that event, when it first came out, would have been proven. Now, obviously, since then, we've learnt that the whole story, we've gone through, we've played the full video, and at the end of the day, we know the fact that these boys did absolutely nothing wrong. Everybody that pushed that narrative when it first came out was actually considered a conspiracy theorist. They, according to these rules, when it first came out, would have been grounds for them to be banned off YouTube. Regardless of whether they were right or wrong, they would have been banned off YouTube. To give you another example, right? Donald Trump. Donald Trump using overfeeding the koi fish pond. Mainstream media ran that narrative. Trump overfed the koi fish pond. Hey, he's going to kill all the fish. They ran stories on overfeeding fish and how it kills them and everything like that. And it wasn't until alternative media got the full video, removed the cropping. Oh, ow, that was my arm. Removed the cropping from around the from around the video and actually showed the full scene where you see the Japanese Prime Minister throwing in the food in the first place, that we realized that, hang on, it wasn't Trump overfeeding koi fish pond. It was Trump mimicking that of the Japanese Prime Minister, and oh my God, it was his fish. That narrative soon fell apart. And if you want to go onto the other side of the spectrum, mainstream media pushing, for example, this Russia Mueller investigation. Russia hacked our election. Russia went through and influenced the election. And now it ended up being Russia brought Facebook ads. For years, us especially, have been going on about what a load of CRAP, that this Russian investigation is. For years we're going on about how this Russia probe has absolutely nothing to do with Trump. Trump did not team up with the Russians to hack the elections. We were called every name under the sun. Conspiracy theorists, alt-right Nazis, blah, blah, blah. I said the word, didn't I? Anyway. But yeah, alt-right, all these sort of names under the sun. And it ended up being after $30 million and a 400-page document that, oh my God, alternative media was right. The mainstream media was wrong. The mainstream media was pushing a conspiracy theory. Now, my question to YouTube is, okay, you want to ban conspiracy theories? What about them? Are you going to go after the mainstream media now, who pushed this Russia investigation, who pushed this Russia conspiracy, who also have YouTube channels? Are you going to censor their videos? Because if you don't, then it's not about you going after conspiracy theories. Otherwise, because if you don't, it's more about you wanting to go through and to silence alternative media and not the actual mainstream. You're trying to push up mainstream media while pushing down alternative media. Why? Because mainstream media doesn't get the attention or the views or the attention rate that we get. Because people know they're fake. Sure, Steven Crowder might be biased. Steven Crowder has an agenda. Steven Crowder is a conservative. But guess what? We know that. He's upfront and honest about it. CNN literally tried to run the tagline, the most trusted name in news. Remember they had that whole Apple ad? Well, I hate to tell you, but the most trusted name in news right now can't even break 1 million daily views. They're getting just over half of that. Fox News, which doesn't even call itself news, actually. They call themselves talk show, whatever they refer to themselves as. But Fox News is doubling their views. Although the whole trusted name in media, let's face it, that's them projecting, right? Because they realise that they're failing when it comes to ratings. Now, obviously, an interesting thing that come out about this, James OKeefe has came out and said, speaking of the Vox Apocalypse, hashtag, next week a brave insider is coming forward from deep inside Silicon Valley. Project Veritas plus our own insider will show you damning documents that big tech don't want you to see. Stay tuned. So Project Veritas is actually claiming they have something when it comes to this. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, we'll have to go through and obviously see what they got. We'll see if it's just smoke or if it's actually fire. But obviously, we'll go through and we'll talk about that. So you're probably wondering, what's the problem from, what's the downfall? What's the result of all this Vox going through and attacking YouTube and going on and waging this apocalypse and everything like that? Well, there's a whole bunch of channels that are being mass demonetized right now. Steven Crowder has completely lost monetization on his channel Ford Fisher has actually lost channel monetization on their channel. I believe they do Press for Truth. Jesus Christ Superstar is another one. Sinatra Says has lost his channel monetization. Luke Ford has lost his channel. Extreme Machine has lost their channel. Dan Dix has lost their channel monetization. The Golden One has lost their channel. Revenge of the Sis has lost their monetization as well. It's just like Keemstar says, channels are being fully demonetized at an insane rate. I can't keep up with the Vox apocalypse. Like, at the end of the day, people cannot keep up with it. Because it is just, every channel is being hit right now. Ford Fisher said, within minutes of YouTube's announcing its new purge, it appears they caught my outlet with documents, activism, and extremism in the crossfire. So, they actually use the... So, they use the video... Ford Fisher has the video, news to share. Sorry, my bad. But like I say, yeah, it's just... It's everybody. Steven Crowder is completely demonetized, but he's got Mug Club, so he's fine. But it's just everybody. It's just... Everybody is getting absolutely smacked right now just because of this Vox guy losing his SHIT because at the end of the day, someone hurt his feelings. So, yeah. What can you do to fight this? Obviously, using the hashtag Vox Apocalypse is obviously one thing that you can do. People have been suggesting cancelling YouTube Premium. That is something that I believe Janet said. I got rid of my YouTube Premium account and not let YouTube know why. And they let YouTube know why, sorry. People are cancelling their YouTube Premium accounts. That's the best thing that you can do right now. If you want to go through and to fight this censorship, sharing people like me, sharing people like Crowder, like all these other guys that I've mentioned who have had their YouTube channel hit, sharing their content, following them on alternative media, like Gab, for example. I'm on Gab, I'm on Minds. Obviously, go through and follow me on there. Also, for example, we have the website nonpartisanmedia.com that will obviously go through and automatically make a list of every video that we upload in that day. And then that will send out an email notification. So if you haven't done that already, nonpartisanmedia.com will allow you to go through and do that. It's just on the side there. Subscribe to our newsletter. That will send you a newsletter once a day letting you know exactly what videos have been published. So even if you don't get notified about them from YouTube themselves, you'll get an email with the list of them in there for us. Apart from that, guys, yeah, look, it's... I don't know how to... The only other option is we go and make our own platform. And there are concerns about me doing that. If I do that, I'll have to dox myself. And I kind of like the fact that I don't dox myself right now. Because this YouTube channel is not big enough for me to survive off. I need my job because I need to pay bills, especially when I'm renovating a kitchen. And at the end of the day, I don't have the internet bandwidth at home at the moment either. I've got an update from my internet provider that says apparently it's going to be July of 2020. I'm going to be a frigging old man before it gets connected. And I'm suspecting the 2020 won't even happen, but anyway. But yeah, like I say, guys, I that's all I can suggest is just vote with your wallet. Follow people on social other alternative media platforms. DLive, people suggesting that DLive as an option is stupid because their actual hate speech guidelines is worse than YouTube right now. So that is absolutely insane to even suggest. But yeah, like I say, look, this is a bad situation. And it's all because someone got called a couple of names that actually he refers to himself, by the way, and he cracked the shits. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, we will, man. Don't worry. And like I say, look, we've got some plans. We are going to go through and we're actually looking at making a website that will be sort of like an agitator, like an aggregator of all the like alternative media websites that get uploaded to YouTube. It will go through and automatically update the website and add these websites when they get added. So like, for example, say Steven Crowder uploads a video, it would then go through and post it on the website. So you could just keep refreshing that and you'd find out all the videos. We're looking at that idea. I haven't had a lot of time lately, so yeah. But like I say, don't forget to vote on the poll. I don't know, guys, but apart from that's all I really got to say about this. I've been monitoring the situation for a while now. I've been wanting to talk about it. We've just obviously been busy. But yeah, look, Steven Crowder, if you do watch this video, man, look, we tried to warn you guys. I tweeted at everybody 12 months ago that this was coming. This is not, they're not doing this just because of Vox. This was always their plan. They went through, they hit the smaller creators, no one gave two shits, then they went through and they hit the bigger creators. It's just been sped up because of Vox, is what I believe, anyway. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright. Apart from that, guys, we're going to be jumping into the next lot of news. There's a couple more things that we want to talk about. So, we probably should talk about Bernie Sanders, shouldn't we? Yeah, let's do that. Alright, let's talk about Bernie Sanders, because this is actually quite funny. Bernie Sanders, Soviet Union, Venezuela doesn't count as examples of failed socialism. Why not? Because they failed? Anyway, let's jump into it. So we have a video here that's 4 minutes. Call us the number of socialist and capitalist experiments that have failed. When criticizing socialism, don't bring up the Soviet Union or Venezuela to Bernie Sanders. Sanders, who's an independent from Vermont, dismissed the connection between the failed socialist states and his own vision of America during an interview on Comedy Central's The Daily Show Tuesday. Obviously, Soviet Union was an authoritarian society with no democratic right. And I think that if you know history, you know the Democrat Socialists fought and stood up against that, the 2020 Democrat hopeful said. So you can look at the existing in the what existed in the Soviet Union or Venezuela. That is not what I'm talking about at all. The Daily Show's Jabuk Young White agreed with Sanders' assessment, saying the examples of failed socialism that critics are using are not socialist democracies, but authoritarian states led by coup, ruthless, and paranoid dictators. Sanders, who owns 3 houses and has earned $1 million annually in recent years, went on to defend someone being a millionaire in his vision of socialist societies. If you say, if what you say in life is all you want to do is make money as possible, and I can screw everything else up, I don't give a damn, then no, I don't think Democrat Socialist is a cup of tea, he said. But if you have a decent heart and say, look, I'm doing really well, but I also want to be a contributor to the well-being of society, so I'm going to pay my fair share of taxes. Which is interesting, because guess what? Bernie Sanders went through and used Trump's new tax cuts. You know, the ones that he's railed against? The tax incentives that he claims were not going to benefit anybody? Well, Bernie Sanders went through and used them themselves to help reduce his income tax. It's funny how they rail against something and then when it ends up being in their benefit, they use it. It's weird, that isn't it? But anyway. The AG of socialism in America, as he was described during the interview, also outlined why he believes younger generations are attracted to the system. The younger generation, in all likelihood, have a lower standard of living than their parents, he said. Tell that to everybody that has an iPhone. before also claiming the student loan debts and lack of high-paying jobs and affordable housing make the idea of socialism more egalitarianism appealing. So they have lower standards of living, but, by the way, they also have high student loan debts because they all want to go to university. They lack high-paying jobs because they don't want to get off their ass and make one. They lack affordable housing because they want to live in the Hamptons, and all makes the idea of socialism more appealing. Sounds like they've really got lower standards of living. Why don't they go and tweet about it on their new iPhone and their new iPad and their new iMac and everything else that they have? Because kind of sounds like they have a high standard of living, if you ask me. I know one girl that spends $200 getting her eyelashes done while she sits there and advocates for socialism. Oh my freaking god, I wonder why you have no money at the end of the week. But regardless, Sanders has a promise to transform America with a left-wing version of the economic and environmental justice if he wins the White House. But then the self-described Democrat socialist, high-income, multiple houses, and fondness for air travel have already opened him up to criticism that his lifestyle doesn't always match the rhetoric, which it doesn't. Notably, he owns 3 houses. In 2016, he bought a $775,000 4-bedroom lakefront home in his home state, in addition to a row house in Houston, D.C., as well as a house in Beaumont, Virginia. Sanders also earned $1 million annually in recent years, although he remains on the low end of the senators, Democrats, in the terms of net wealth. Mind you, that's because they're all making a whole shitload of money. Look, at the end of the day, I was watching a video about socialism the other day, actually, and because I wanted to brush up on it, and someone turned around and they said in the video, the way socialism works is that the government comes in and the government controls everything, right? So the government will come in and take control of mass production, all this sort of stuff, everything, right? And then at the end of the day, the government then designates, what things have to be made. It's a very large sort of top-down government approach to everything. Alright, so if you like small governments, you hate socialism, generally. The thing is that they said that at the end of the day, the government will always serve the own interest of whoever's in charge. So, for example, with socialism, right? Say Bernie Sanders was to come into power. Bernie Sanders and his government would then control mass production. So if Bernie Sanders, for example, wanted a new TV, he would start mass production more of TVs, for example. And it's this sort of corruption that sneaks in. And the people that tend to get in these positions of powers are the ones that always end up being the ones that corrupt the system, because they control the system. Where with capitalism, for example, it's the opposite. People actually control the market, not the government. So when you always have these rich and elite people, for example, advocating for socialism, that in itself should ring alarm bells. When you get people that make $1 million a year turning around saying, we should go through and put in a new system for socialism, you probably should sit there and think, this might not be the best idea. Because I doubt that someone is making $1 million a year will actually advocate for a system that's going to make him less money. Even though he might claim it does. Socialism has failed in every form in every country it's ever been implemented in. Yes, Richard, but that's because it wasn't #real socialism. Apparently. But yeah, you're right, exactly. Yeah, they call it tax cuts breadcrumbs, but they want those so-called breadcrumbs back. Oh yeah, they do. And not only that, but they also claim those so-called breadcrumbs. It's funny, that, isn't it? But look, at the end of the day, yeah, Bernie Sanders pushing for socialism. If you want to know why he's doing it, just look at who's living in Venezuela right now. Who is living very comfortably while the rest of the population starve? It's the government officials. The government officials are living the high life while the rest of the population is starving. Same thing with Russia. The same thing with China and all these socialist societies they've tried to bring in the past. It's always the exact same thing. The government officials live the high life. Everybody else starves. And now Bernie Sanders wants to bring in socialism. Guess who do you think is going to go through and is going to live the high life? And guess who do you think is going to starve? G'day kids, I'm more worried about Chinese communists being soft force via economics on us under the threat of military action, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Bernie Sanders will ever win. I don't think the deep state will let Bernie Sanders win because he's a socialist. I don't think the deep state wants socialism any more than they want Trump to be elected. Big boats popping up by Sydney on the way home from Afghan action. Yeah, right. Big boats popping by Sydney on the way home from Afghan action. Okay. But yeah, I don't think the deep state wants socialism. So they will go through and they will elect someone like Joe Biden, for example. And that's what's going to happen with the election. I'm calling it now. Joe Biden's going to win the election. Not because he's popular, not because at the end of the day he has the base to support him, but because he has the right political opinion and he has the right powers in charge to support him. By the way, we have a bit of an update on that, but we're actually going to make a video on that. So I'm trying to get tomorrow night off work, because I've still got holidays I've got to use up. And we might put up a video tomorrow, which is really going to be illuminating, and it's probably going to be more censored than anything we've ever done because it's very much against the deep state. We'll give you a hint. It has to do with the 2020 elections. But guys, apart from that, yeah, look, at the end of the day, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below regarding Bernie Sanders, Soviet Union, and Venezuela. He doesn't want to count them as socialism, but that's because they failed. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Oh, okay, cool. So, D-Day veteran, aged 94 and 95, parachute into Normandy 75 years after invasion. So a 95-year-old white World War II veteran said it was wonderful in every way to be able to parachute into Normandy 75 years after he did so for D-Day. Henry Reed, 95, and John Hunt, 94, embarked on a tandem jump this afternoon over Sonneville following the display around 280 parachutists celebrating the Allied invasion. The ex-serviceman jumped with the Red Devils parachute team, was in danger of being cancelled due to delays and technical difficulties, but they pulled it off in the end. The pair took off from Duxford, Cambridgeshire, and leapt over France from between 800 to 1,000 feet and landed in fields overlooked by poppies. Kind of a good story. Yeah. Here's a mind bender for you. If socialism doesn't work, how can we survive automation? We simply don't allow automation that's going to put people out of jobs in wide scale. Quite simple. For example, self-driving trucks. We say no. We don't want self-driving trucks. We don't allow them. So therefore, we'd have to worry about putting truckies out of jobs. We stop making companies bring in this automation to save money by even taxing robots if we have to. We start taxing robots, and then at the end of the day, they're going to then start thinking twice about doing it. So, yeah. Trump administration approved 2 nuclear deals to Saudi Arabia after Khashoggi was killed in Istanbul. The Trump administration approved 2 nuclear transfers to Saudi Arabia after the murder of Washington Post communist Jamal Khashoggi, according to Democrat lawmakers who reviewed documents relating to the deals, which they oppose. On the news Tuesday is the latest outrage from the Congress, which has grown increasingly frustrated with the Saudis and especially President Trump's defense of the kingdom after its war in Yemen and Khashoggi's brutal slaying by Saudi agents inside its consulate in Istanbul. In particular, lawmakers have expressed concerns about Saudi Arabia's pursuit of nuclear weapons and a lack of oversight on these agreements. But much to the air is also focused on Trump administration for moving ahead on high-level deals with Saudi Arabia after the US resident was murdered. Automation is only coming if we allow it. Dude, at the moment, we don't even get people that want to use the automatic machines at Coles or Woolworths. So, yeah. Sadly, they're slowly phasing in self-ordering kiosks and self-checkouts. Yeah, but Eric, the thing is, you just don't use them. And when they insist, just say, no, I don't want to use that. I want to use a real-life person. I want to talk to a natural person, not a machine. And if enough people do that, enough people refuse to use them, then at the end of the day, yeah. Socialism would solve the obesity problem. Yes, but some of us are not fat, and we would be even thinner than we already are. I'm trying to gain weight, not lose it. But yes, it's bad for the whole health of society. I found the silver light into socialism. Yeah, obesity, yeah. At least it'd help with the, type 2 diabetes, I suppose. Representative Rashid Tibs up while reading death threat at a white supremacy hearing. Oh, look at that. She found one where she got a death threat. The House Oversight Committee hearing on white supremacy and domestic terrorism took a personal turn on Tuesday when freshman Representative Rajib of Michigan broke down in tears during her testimony while reading a death threat sent to her office. She was questioning Michael Griffey, Assistant Director of the FBI's Counterterrorism Division, about the Justice Department handling of domestic terrorism. I want to give you an example. So I've been in office for about 6 months, and when you get something like this, and she read it out. I don't want to read it out because it might trigger the algorithm itself. So it wasn't actually a death threat, is it? Okay, so they're making references to the New Zealand incident, saying that 49 was not really enough. They're saying that they want more. It's not really a death threat to her per se, but Yeah, I know. Yep. Look, at the end of the day, obviously I don't advocate for anybody sending death threats. I think this sort of stuff is stupid. Not only that, but it's counterproductive. But look, at the end of the day, was this sent to the FBI? Did the FBI investigate this? Did they arrest someone regarding this? Generally, the answers to those questions are always yes. And what? You got one threat. Okay. Even if you got 5 threats, for example, fine. But here's the thing. People on YouTube, online, we get these threats every day. Conservatives get threats every day. You found one. Whoop-de-doo. Like, obviously, I don't want to go, devaluing it or anything like that. But, yeah. I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, we could go through and we can stop automation. Not stop it completely. Obviously, I don't want to live in the Stone Age. But at the end of the day, things like, for example, self-driving trucks. You just don't allow them. Or make it so that they still have to have drivers behind the wheels. If you want self-driving trucks, fine. But you still have to have the person there driving. You still have to have the backup driver. So therefore, people aren't going to lose their jobs. Borders arrests skyrocket in May as officials declare full-blown emergency. The number of immigrants apprehended at America's southern border skyrocketed last month to leave no seen in over a decade. To levels not seen in over a decade. With US Customs and Border Protection reportedly nearly 133,000 arrests in May. The number surpassed 144,000 when counting immigrants deemed inadmissible, more than 30% increase prior month and double the influx records of the beginning of the year. We're in a full-blown emergency, a CBP official said on Wednesday. The number of apprehensions was the highest monthly total in more than 13 years. In April, authorities recorded 99,304 arrests. The latest figure could invite President Trump amid tensions to negotiate with Mexico over the immigration crisis. Last week, an effort to force Mexico to do more to stop the invasion of immigrants into the US as President vowed opposed new 5% tariff on all Mexican imports. I do not find it is really convenient. I think it's completely conspicuous, that at the end of the day, we are coming up to an election and all of a sudden the US border is being rushed by migrants that would actually vote for Democrats. Apparently, those wire barriers going up on our highways in Oz are for self-driving trucks. Which means the government want it. Or enabling it. Yeah, we need new government. This is the thing. And this is the thing that bugs me, and 76, and Trump, is that, for example, right, people go on, and people go, oh, yay, we dodged a bullet with Labour. Yay, the Conservatives won. Yeah, the Conservatives might have won the election, but at the end of the day, they're still part of the deep state. They're still part of the military-industrial complex. They're still part of the machine. Okay? Yes, it was a better option than Labour winning, but you have a choice between slow, painful death or death dying quickly. You can take the bullet in the head or you can die from arsenic. That's the choice between Labour and Liberal. And people do not get that. You know, like people like Daisy Cousins. And I'm calling her out because I know she's cute and whatever and she's conservative and blah, blah, blah. But she's sitting there, you know, sucking the ass of, you know, Scott Morrison. No. He's a establishment. He is part of the cog. So, yeah, like, wake up to yourself, woman. But anyway. CNN poll. Rising share expect Trump to win in 2020. A majority of Americans say that think Donald Trump is going to win the second term, according to a CNN poll conducted by SSRS, even as president reviews on issues other than economic remain largely negative. The new poll finds 54% say their best guess is that Trump will win the 2020 election. 41% feel that he will lose. Americans are slightly more apt to say Trump will win now than they were to say Barack Obama would win a second term in mid-May 2011. A survey conducted just after the death of Osama bin Laden, 50% thought Obama would win that poll. The new numbers on Trump are a reversal from December, when a narrow majority, 51%, thought that Trump would lose his bid for the election. So after Osama bin Laden has been killed, Barack Obama's popularity was lower than what Trump's is now, after Trump has been criticized in the media constantly for the past how many years? Even after all their tactics and all their attacking and everything like that, it still has not stopped the Trump train. That's pretty impressive. Makes you wonder how big he would be if, you know, he had done that. Trump cancels government contract for fecal tissue research. President Donald Trump is cancelling the contract that provides government funding to the University of California, San Francisco, for researching the issue of fecal tissue harvesting from elective abortions. The Trump administration first focused its sights on the contract its past September, with the National Institute of Health, NIH, warning UCSF that its $2 million annual contract for fecal tissue research would be curled to 90 days and possibly cancelled altogether. Senior Trump officials told the Daily Caller the contract will be officially terminated on Wednesday. The cancellation stems from a 9th-month U.S. Department of Health and Services review that research involved fecal tissue from elective abortions. HHS will also install ethics boards overseeing all extreme research involving fecal tissue. But I thought Planned Parenthood wasn't making money off abortions. Makes you wonder where all that they're getting all that fecal tissue from and how much they're paying for it. The officials explained to the caller that the move is a part of a constant change to keep a pro-life perspective on all policies. Fecal tissue is used in a number of research projects that seek to find cures on treatments for diseases such as HIV and pediatric cancer by creating human-like immune systems in mice. However, pro-life groups say that the practice is unethical and gruesome because of much of the fecal tissue used in the research comes from aborted babies. The officials urged that the scientists that began claiming for 26 years that fecal tissue research would lead to significant medical breakthroughs, and yet there have been exactly 0 miracle cures, which is true. If it was going to go through and look, I'm not saying I'm against fecal tissue research, but at the end of the day, they do have a point. 26 years they've been wanting to use it. What advancements have been made? So, yeah, and there are other ways of doing it besides using fecal tissue. Obviously, it's not as successful. It's not as good. But yeah. Pro-life groups celebrate Trump's administration cutting funding for the research with aborted fetus tissue. So obviously the pro-life groups are happy. Trump unarmed civilians are sitting ducks. President Trump said Wednesday that unarmed civilians are sitting ducks by obeying laws that prevent carrying guns for self-defense. When somebody has a gun illegally and nobody else has a gun because the laws that you can have a gun, those people are gone, Trump told Good Morning Britain's Piers Morgan in an interview that covered a range of gun control topics. They have no chance, he added. Morgan brought up the Virginia Beach shooting and the latest example of American high gun crime rate. America has a particular issue with gun violence. There's been 150 mass shootings in America this year alone, which we've gone through and debunked as it is. In Britain, we've had 35 gun deaths a year, Morgan said. Yes, but stabbings. Yeah, but in London, you've had stabbings all over. I read an article where everyone's been stabbed, Trump replied. Obviously, he's been hyperbolic when he's saying everybody, but you know. They say your hospital is a sea of blood all over the floors. We have problem with knife crime, Morgan responded. Trump told Morgan that Paris shooting in November 2015 that killed 118 would have never happened had 2 or 3 of those people had a gun, which he does have a point. Morgan praised Trump for his stand on banning bump stocks after the Las Vegas shooting in October 2017, asking if he also wanted to ban silencers because one was reportedly used in the Virginia Beach shootings. Trump said he would think about it. The bad guys are not getting rid of the guns, Trump said. Pretty much everybody agrees with that, which is true. And in fact, Australia has some of the toughest gun laws ever. And we had a shooting over the past day or two up in Darwin, Northern Territory. Wow, it's like gun violence still continues when you have gun control. Who would have thought? Obviously, on this, Virginia Beach demonstrates the failure of gun control. The calls for more gun control are in full swing. Following the Virginia Beach mass shooting last Friday, Democrat president hopefuls are lining up to restrict the rights of honest Americans to share the Second Amendment. The comments from the socialist Bernie Sanders are typical in the aftermath of a shooting. He blasts the gun lobby for control in Congress and calling for more gun safety legislation as pancreas for every social ill. Virginia Beach Ralph Northam followed with his own calls for specific gun legislation. It's funny, the person that wants to bring in socialism, doesn't want people to have firearms. Who would have thought? I'm sure firearms in Venezuela right now would be actually quite beneficial. But the midst of all the hyperbole was one adverted admission. The chief of police in Virginia Beach, a gun control advocate himself, admitted that in addition to gun control, would have not made a difference. Here's why. Gun-free zones are a failure. Key promise to the gun control view is that Americans would be safer if guns were banned at various locations. Hence, we see gun-free zones have been imposed at every school in the country, in government buildings and sporting events. But this won't make Americans safer. Cease the point. The Virginia Beach shooting effectively occurred in a gun-free zone. Who would have thought? It's like someone that wants to go and commit mass murder and kill a bunch of people is not going to actually care about a gun-free zone. My shock. Former Arkansas, I'm getting that wrong, state senator found shot dead in her own home. Former Republican Arkansas state senator was found dead in her home, having sustained a lethal gunshot wound. Linda Collins Smith, former press secretary of Ken Yang, said the former state senator died from a gunshot wound in her Pocahontas, Arkansas home. Neighbors allegedly heard gunshots a day or two before the dead body was discovered on Tuesday. Arkansas State Police Public Information Officer Bill Sanders said to the Daily Caller News Foundation over email Wednesday that officials were in contact Tuesday afternoon. A state medical examiner will confirm the identity of the human remains on Wednesday. A manner to cause the death was determined. The state laboratory has been requested by the Ralph County Sheriff's Department to be held investigative agency in which currently being handled as a homicide investigation. No, he didn't. No, exactly right. The guy in Darwin didn't give a crap about a gun laws. Exactly. He just went in and shot people. Who would have thought? It's unclear how the alleged murder happened. So, yeah. Dead Republican found shot in a home. Wonder why. Piers Morgan's give Donald Trump a Winston Churchill hat. British broadcaster Piers Morgan took the opportunity during an interview with President Donald Trump in the United Kingdom to present him with a version of the hat made famous by Prime Minister Winston Churchill. I think Winston looked much better in this one, Trump said upon trying on the hat. After he slapped it a bit, the president then commented that it was a size a bit big. But anyway. During the interview with Good Morning Britain, which aired Wednesday morning, Morgan presents the hat with the monogram TJT inside. Thank you, Piers. I never knew you had the kind of sensibility, Trump said. Trump was a big fan of Winston Churchill and had studied him throughout the years. I never like to have heroes. I'd like to respect people, he said, but certainly he would be right up there. When asked if he knew any similarities between himself and Churchill, Trump murmured, well, if I ever said that, I would be ridiculed all over, he said. Which is true. Rap sheet. 76 acts of violence and harassment against conservatives on campus. Whether they're perpetrated by students or school facilities, instances of violence or threats against conservative students and sometimes even conservative professors are becoming commonplace on America's college campus. The trend also expanded to high school levels. Here's a list of violent instances or threats made against conservatives on campus. made by leftists in academia. This has been a report since 2016, and there is quite a list. So, yeah. I'm going to go through and make that thing while I'm doing the news for you guys. 2 stories left, guys. NCAA champion Hurtler says, I have no benefits being trans. Really? Because you tried to run as a man and you couldn't do it. You got like 300s or something, I read. Transgender track sensation who sparked controversy after dominating this year's NCAA Women's Track Championship is saying she has no benefit from elevated testosterone levels as big as a biological male, although science tends to want to go through and debunk this. Look, at the end of the day, you're going to guess what he's going to say. It's just going to be the same stuff. I actually read a story where he actually was, when he was a male and he was running, he would actually apparently, he would only get like 300th or something. So, yeah, and now he's apparently winning. Who would have thought? And TP USA high school students, teachers triggered by America is the greatest country sign. So Dan Gallup, a student at Turning Point USA chapter president at West Haven High School in Connecticut, told Breitbart News that teachers and administrations at his high school got offended over the TP USA sign that reads, America is the greatest country in the world. The conservative student spoke to host Alex Morrow in the Wednesday interview on SiriusXM's Breitbart News Daily for show's weekly TP USA campus report segment. We learned that the administration, specifically some of the teachers in the school, had called for our club to be disbanded, said Gallup on Wednesday, and that they encourage people to take down our posters. Right now, we're still working with the administration and principal and the superintendent trying to get our posters back up. Absolutely disgusting, but anyway. I think at the end of the day, you should be able to go through and put up your posters saying that your school is, or that your country is the greatest. I think that's pretty pathetic. And yeah. Alright, so I'm going to make this... I'm going to make this poll. So... how do you spell Susan Wojcicki? There it is. Got it. Alright. So I've got, who is the most hated person on the internet right now? And I've got brackets. Please don't harass the people in, please don't harass the people in this poll. It's more of a joke. Then I've got Carlos Mays, Jack Dorsey, Susan Wojcicki, Mark Zuckerberg, and that is all I can put. Oh, damn it. Hang on, I forgot to put the hashtag. Delete. There we go. Okay, so the poll is up and it's probably going to nuke my Twitter account, but I'll just make another one anyway, I don't care. So, here it is here, guys, in case you want to see it. And you can go through it and you can vote. So who's the most hated person on the internet right now? Please don't harass the people in this poll, it's more of a joke. And then it's got Vok Apocalypse, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. So feel free to go and vote there, guys. And don't forget to retweet it. Because, yeah, shits and giggles. Let's do some trolling. Let's go through and let's troll some people. Apart from that, guys, like I say, please don't harass anybody that's been in these videos today. I do have to keep saying that because that way they won't be able to go through and claim that I've advocated for it. But yeah. Yeah. Apart from that, guys, it's going to be the show for the day. It's going to be a small one. I do have to get to bed because I have work tonight, so, and, yeah, apart from that, guys, obviously we'll be back tomorrow, the same bat time, same bat station, and, although it's still gone for an hour and a half, I suppose, but yeah, apart from that, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on any of the topics that we have talked about today. Thank you everybody who has been in the chat, who has stayed and listened to me prattle on. Three Right Guys. By the way, guys, if you want to go check out a gaming podcast, go check out Three Right Guys. Amtrak, Eric is in chat. I've seen Richard in here a little bit. Janet was also in here for a little bit. Or Janet, sorry. But yeah, apart from that, guys, anybody I've missed? I don't think so. But yeah, guys, apart from that, enjoy yourselves. Have a great night. And we will see you tomorrow. Hopefully with some happier news. Apart from that, guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a great night. And we'll see you then.